us. This is the Larson Health Podcast, and we're excited to have Victoria with us today. We're going to be talking about sprouting our nuts, fermenting vegetables, and bread. And she makes this amazing sourdough bread that I can't wait to hear all about. And then we're going to talk about CAFOs. So that's these factory farmed animals. And she's actually been on a tour of one. So that'll be interesting to talk about. And then we're also going to talk about the gut brain, the microbiome really, and the gut brain axis. So hello, Victoria.
Hi, it's nice to be back.
Yeah, it's great to have you back.
Yeah.
So I want to learn a little bit more about this, like the sprouting, like so you do sprouting of the bread and ferment or a sprouting of nuts and
Yes.
and all kinds of stuff. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so sprouting kind of is an ancient form of cooking, really, and it's not a new thing. It's been around longer than we have been, but it's something that has kind of gotten a lot more traction in the last few years, and or at least in my nutrition searches and all of that. But for me, it really started with sourdough because I loved bread, but bread started to not love me. And then I wanted to learn, well, what is it? How is it that throughout all these years, and you read in stories and all these things, you see that bread was such an important part of humanity and about
Yeah.
in keeping us alive. So how has it just kind of turned against us?
Yeah.
And through that, it kind of went through a rabbit hole of sorts. And then I learned about the fermentation process, about grains. Some people might resonate with this where they'll hear about how you go to Europe and you can have pasta, but when you're in the US, you can't really have pasta. It's like, well, why is that?
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with our farming. It has to do with the glyphosate, the things that we spray on our grains, but it also
Yep.
has to do with the wheat itself. It's been so modified that when we take the grain and then they strip it of nutrients,
Yeah.
they make a bread form out of it, and then they put nutrients back into it. And the product itself has been so stripped, and then it no longer is identified as food really in the body.
Right.
It's more of a it's a foreign product, and that's why you get inflammation, because our body's responding to that foreign entity that's in our body, and you're getting all these different health issues that come from our food. And the reality is that if we go back to our basic ancient
Ancestors. Yeah.
ancestors, yeah, you see that the reality is that you can have this food. We just need to change the way that we're making it. So
So
it
something
started from me.
something interesting about that is that Monsanto started making genetically modified soy, wheat, and corn. These are the top
Doesn't surprise
three
me.
products, right? So
Yeah.
when they started to genetically modify it, the reason why they genetically modified it was because then they could sell the farmers the weed killer and the what is the other thing that they spray on it? It's weed killer and something else that they spray on.
Pesticides.
Pesticides, yeah. So they could sell them the pesticides and the herbicides. And so they've got the full round of, whereas before they weren't necessarily using all of this. They might be using a fertilizer, but it might be like their cow dung or whatever that they were using, right, for fertilizer. Versus now they have to buy all this stuff and they pay for all this stuff. And that's why the prices are all up. And then Bayer, who makes all the cancer drugs, bought Monsanto. So Monsanto with all the drugs and sued many times because they're putting the glyphosate and the insecticides. And so the wheat and the soy and the corn won't die after you put all these weed killers on it. And so they'll spray it heavily,
Yeah.
right? And this used to be called Roundup, right? They got sued for Roundup, so now they call it glyphosate. It's still the same stuff. It used to be called Agent Orange. And that,
Really?
oh
And it
yeah,
just keeps changing?
they just keep changing the name of it. It's still the same product. Right.
Okay.
And they know that it causes cancer. So that's why Bayer bought it, because Bayer's like, all right, we make the drug. We want to keep pushing this because then we can make the drugs for the cancer. And then, and the drugs aren't really working for cancer. I mean, they make people so sick and everything else. It's so, yeah. Anyway, go ahead and talk
No,
about.
that I think is so important to know about,
Yeah.
because oftentimes, like, I think there's a lot of questions of like, why are we so sick? What's going on? I mean, what's happening? And it comes back to, I mean, look at what we're eating, what we're putting in our bodies, what we're fueling ourselves with. And it goes more than just even food. It's just environment and all of it. It's sad
Yes,
that, I mean, it's sad that that is the system that we have, but I think education and educating yourself on that is so important, because once you understand it, you can respond to it instead of just constantly reacting.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're sprouting, what like tell me the things that you're sprouting. Like what did you learn about bread? Like keep
Yeah.
keep on that path.
So with sourdough, what I ended up learning was that through the fermentation process that you go through with your starter, you're the you take out phytic acid, because through the fermentation process, the the yeast in it, the natural occurring yeast, starts to eat at the sugars and the phytic acid, and some of these key kind of players that can have negative effects on the body. And so as it's eating those things, and it's an alive organism, something that you said a little bit, I'm kind of getting back onto your topic, but you mentioned with the glyphosate and all these things that they're spraying, and how it's not killing them, like they can't die anymore. That's not natural. Like there's a
Right? That's not
natural life
natural.
cycle that things have to go through. It goes into the organism itself. And when you don't have that natural life cycle, that's a scary thing. Like
It really
we
is.
want things to die properly and for
Yeah.
life to form. And
Yeah, if you put a
so
weed killer on it, it should die.
it should die. Yeah. And so with real bread, with sprouted fermented wheat, it goes through a natural life cycle, and in that, it's eating those sugars, things like that, and it's alive. It's feeding on that.
Yeah.
So what happens is that phytic acid, when it's in your body, it kind of takes mineral sources from your body, and that's what is bad about phytic acid. We need a little
Yeah.
bit of it, but too much of it will take from your stores of minerals and will deplete you, and that's where you can get lethargic and all these kind of like heavy, bloated, those feelings of just not right, which is why some people, when they eat breads, they get bloated, they start to feel not right. There's that noise again.
Really?
And
I haven't had this before, but
I'm
something.
really thinking it's on my end. But if you've been here before, it happens every time. Um, so anyway, but going back to it, and I think I lost my train of thought, but the phytic acid, we need some of it, but too much of it can cause havoc within your body. So sprouting in the fermentation process reduces phytic acid and actually boosts protein within the food itself, and it also boosts natural minerals within the
Yes.
food, because again, it's a live organism. It's growing and it's maturing. These things are adding nutrients back into the product itself, and then when you eat this product, you're not getting depleted from minerals. You're actually
Yeah.
putting minerals back into your body, and it has much better a much better product for your body. So it started for me with sourdough, and then learning more about the fermentation process, I started to make kombucha, sauerkraut, sourdough, obviously, and then even sprouting my grains and my um, legumes, and then also my seeds and
And your
nuts.
legumes.
My legumes, yes.
So how do
Yeah.
you sprout your legumes? How long you got to soak them?
So it depends on which one they are. I do
Okay.
get my beans online, and they'll be sprouting beans essentially, and they will tell
Okay.
you on it how long. Usually it's about 12 to 24 hours where you will
Okay.
soak them, and then in a glass jar, and then on top there's kind of a mesh strainer
Like a
top.
cheesecloth or something?
Cheesecloth, that would work. You rinse out the beans a couple of times, and you wait until the water runs clean,
Okay.
and then you put the mesh top on, or the cheesecloth, and then you kind of spread them around and then let them just sit for about 12 to another 24 hours,
Let them
and they will
dry out and
start
everything.
sprouting. You will see little
Wow.
roots on them, and once you see a little root, you can eat them.
Wow.
And you can actually eat them right from there. You do not necessarily have to,
Put
well,
them in a
with when
soup
you
or
don't necessarily have to, but I would recommend, like, sometimes they're a little bitter. I mean, you can have like one or two, but you're not going to just sit there and start eating them.
right.
But then
Because they're
from
so
there,
filling as well.
yes, and they're full of nutrients. And if you
So
think
like
about it, it
black
makes
beans and lentils and
all of them.
all of
Yeah.
them.
Any bean, because it's a live food. And the thing is that when we have beans, we'll take beans for just for this story, but they're in a fermented, or they're in a hibernated state,
Yeah.
right? They're hibernated when they're just, your beans in your pantry. When you take them out and you sprout them, you're turning them back on. You're bringing life back into them, so they're being ready to be planted. And then from that point, you just cook them as you normally would. But you're putting more nutrients back into them, and you're waking them up essentially. And you're not eating a dormanted plant. You're eating a live plant.
Which is always more healthy for us when we're eating it live, right?
Yes, because you're getting more
Versus,
nutrients.
yeah, versus something asleep or dead, right? So,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
you wouldn't eat the lettuce that's dead, right?
No, you
So you
wouldn't
think
eat
about it,
wilted lettuce.
right? You know,
Yeah.
so what else do you ferment? So that, like, the process for the bread, is that like a 2 or 3 day process?
So for the bread, it depends. If you have an active starter, it's about a 16-hour process from an active starter. But
Okay.
if you don't have an active starter, you just fed your starter, it's probably about a 24-hour process.
Okay.
And it starts from feeding your starter. And I just feed mine with water. And I do corn flour because that's a wheat that has never been genetically modified. It
Okay.
is easier to digest. Those who have issues with gluten intolerance usually do a lot better with corn flour.
And I have inflammation in my right knee for arthritis, because
Mm-hmm.
inflammation in any joint is called arthritis.
Okay.
So if I eat regular bread, I have a problem. But
I'm sure.
I go to Cricket Tree Bread Works, and they don't use Eikenhorn, but they use um
Like a whole wheat or.
they use a non-bromated wheat.
Okay.
So and I don't know exactly what that means. I think I did look it up, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it's a non-bromated, so it doesn't have like all the processing that goes into it. It's more of a
Mm-hmm.
whole
Whole.
grain.
Yes.
I don't know that it's non-GMO, but it is. I'm trying to remember the name of it's like it's one of the good brands that's out there. It's not a big major brand.
Okay.
But it's a brand that we all know from the health food stores.
Okay. Well, so
Um,
something interesting about that is that, and with sourdough, I think that this opened my mind a lot to nutrition in general. Because again, your starter, it's a live organism, so it has to be fed properly or it will die. And
okay.
so with Cricket Tree, I know that they have to use good flour, because if they don't use good flour, they will kill their starter.
Yeah.
So, and that's what the
Theirs is like a
difference
2 or
between.
3 day process. So I don't think they're using a
Yeah.
starter.
Well, for sourdough,
Yeah.
if it's a 2 or 3 days process, they probably do. You will have to feed the natural yeasts. At
Okay.
least
So
I would assume they would.
you think they're using a starter versus, because I'm pretty sure they don't. I'm pretty sure they use the water process, and it's I forget how long.
Water, flour, and salt.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
it.
So the water and flour itself is what the starter is.
Oh,
Yes. So it's water and flour, and then
okay.
you let it sit for a while, and then the proteins and the natural, I guess it's the natural yeast within the whole wheat will start
Okay.
eating the sugars.
Okay.
And then that creates a fermentation process. You can make a starter yourself. I've made one myself. You just need true flour, which is unbleached, unbrymized flour, and water, filtered water. And you let it sit out for a few days, stir it, feed it a little bit more flour, a little bit more water, stir it up. And then before you know it, it'll get all bubbly and it will rise up. And then once it's risen, you can pour some into a bowl, add flour, add water, mix it up, and then just keep kneading it and doing some stretch and folds, and then you've got bread. You can add salt to it, and that's really all that you need for bread.
And I don't know how they get the seeds to stick so well. They must like put butter and make it stick and bake it that way. I don't know what they do, but
the dough's pretty sticky.
It is. Okay.
Yeah, it's really sticky.
Okay, good.
Afterwards, my hands are like, after I've kneaded it, my hands are like fully like it sticks. Yeah.
And can you get the dough off your hands? Are you like trying to,
Well, afterwards I go over to the sink and I do a quick like back of the hand to get the water on, and then I just wash it off. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great. Yeah, so you know
Yeah.
what you're doing. And then
hmm
talk about the seeds. So you're buying the seeds already slightly sprouted?
No, you're buying a certain kind of seed. I buy mine off of Etsy,
Okay.
and essentially they're through. And I think that there's a couple of um, places that you can probably buy them in bulk, but they're organic and they haven't. It's not necessarily like the seeds that you would get at the grocery store or the nuts that you get at the grocery store, because those kind of have already been killed almost. But they're just in a dormanted state, and they're not super expensive compared to other nuts and seeds. They're pretty
Okay.
on the same price, but
Okay.
they're organic and they're just dormanted and ready to be sprouted.
Okay.
And you can sprout them. It takes, I mean, the full process probably takes 2 to 3 days depending,
Okay.
but you do first 12 hours soaking and then pour it out the water and then do the whole thing. And
So it's a lot
um,
of work.
it is a lot of work. It definitely is. And I think that that's where it probably scares some people off, but it's
Well,
something that,
especially if you think about like people have a family and they've got 3 kids, they got to get to school, they got to go to work, they got to do
yeah.
this, they got to do,
But
I mean,
honestly, it is a lot of work, like in your mind. But honestly, you're filling up a jar with
okay.
water, you're putting in your nuts, and you're
Okay.
putting it on the counter, and you're done.
So you can do that on Friday.
I mean, you can do that, yeah. And then the next morning, as you're making your coffee, or whatever it is, your tea that's brewing, you just
Yeah.
pour out all the water, rinse it a few times, pour it out, rinse it, and then you just set it up on the counter and
In the
let it
jar, you let
breathe
it sit.
in a jar. Yeah, let it
Okay.
breathe. You do need to tip the jar that has water in it. You do need to tip the jar so that way any excess water will be able to come out.
Or you could
Because
put it
you
in a
want,
strainer, right? You could
yes,
drain it in
but
a
you want
strainer.
airflow to come in, but you want to be able to have that water flow out.
Could you just leave it in a strainer in the sink or on a counter?
You could, yeah, that
Okay.
works.
Because that'll give it
Yeah,
the airflow it needs, right?
yes,
Okay,
yes. I
cool.
do think that perhaps the glass around it helps with moisture of like the condensation or the
Okay.
it might mean something.
You don't want to dry it out too much.
I haven't tried it with just a strainer. I
Okay.
could try it and see how it works, and I'll let you know. But
I
usually I
wonder if it
just leave
still
it in the
needs.
glass jar. I'll send
Okay.
you photos.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. Just to
Yeah,
see like what it looks like. And then
yeah.
send me the link too so that we can put in the show notes of like where you
Yes,
get your nuts and
I
your
will.
beans and all that.
Yeah, and I buy them in bulk, and they will last like 10 years. Like you can store these
Really?
things for 10 years. So it's not
They
like,
don't get moldy, they don't get
no, because it's in a dormanted state. They're dry.
once they're
There's not any
sprouted?
moisture in there. What?
Once they're sprouted?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, the nut themselves, or the seed or bean before it's sprouted.
Okay.
When you buy in bulk.
Okay, got it. So you can buy it in bulk. It's not going to go bad. And then when you're
No.
ready to sprout it, you sprout it.
Yes. And then from sprouted, it's about 3 to 5 days where they're
Okay.
good. Because again,
Okay.
you're dealing with a live product. So if you
Yeah.
don't eat it, it will rot.
It
It will die.
it will go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with like beans. We love, especially when fall's coming, we love to make chilies and
Soups.
turkey soup with beans and
hmm
black beans and lentils and we just we love it. So
Yeah, me too. Yeah, when fall comes around, it's squash and bean season.
yeah. Yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
zucchinis right now, roasting up zucchinis
Yum.
and grilling them and just slicing them, put olive oil and roast them in
Yeah.
the oven or put them on the grill. It's oh god, it's so good.
Yeah, it's the best. I absolutely, I mean, there's nothing that beats just going out to your garden and picking something from it, and then just a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of sea salt,
Yes.
and it's so yummy. I mean, it's just the flavor that's in fruits and vegetables that come from like from your own garden, from good
Yeah.
soil.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
like I got to go pick some strawberries. We got like 5 or 6 strawberries down there right now.
oh yum.
And I just picked about 10 little cherry tomatoes today and I sliced a
hmm
couple of them this morning and just sprinkled a little salt on them and a little basil and yum.
They're
It
so
was
good.
so good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Better
it's
than
so
any
fun.
tomato I've ever bought at the store, right? I mean,
It's true. And
it's
the
just so
strawberries
good.
too. We have strawberries at our home, and I just did a TikTok on them because They're full of vitamin C. It's good for anti-inflammatory
Yeah.
properties. Strawberries are an incredible fruit, and they're a low glycemic index um, food as well. So if you have
Yeah.
blood sugar issues, it's a great thing to have.
I have it
Um,
almost every morning.
yeah, and they're good for your immunity too with all the vitamin C.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll do organic Greek yogurt, and then I'll do the berries, and then I put chia seeds, avocado. I put a toasted coconut on there,
Yeah.
and
You're putting avocado in that?
oh yeah,
Is it good?
oh my God, it's delicious.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just take a
Yum.
half an avocado and slice it up real, into small little
Hmm.
pieces, and just mix it all up. Oh, I didn't put cottage cheese, and I'll put
Oh, I
a
see. Okay. It's
a
more savory
grass-fed whey
then.
protein as well. It's in a bowl. Yeah,
Okay. Oh, yum. Okay.
yeah.
That's a
So it's
great
my
breakfast.
Oh yeah, and it's so filling, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's in a big bowl, but I probably won't eat again until 3 o'clock because I'm so full from
Yeah.
that.
Well,
So
because you're getting proteins, right? You're also getting
healthy fat,
fiber and fat.
fiber, yeah,
Yeah, and then you're getting a little bit of sugars from the
from the
fruit. So
fruit.
you're getting, and actually also from the yogurt, you'll probably get a little bit of sugar. And that
There's a tiny bit, yeah.
tiny bit. When I say sugars, I'm not talking about processed sugar. It's more of just the energy, the carbohydrates.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and that's so you're getting a very balanced meal
Very balanced
for
meal. Yeah.
your breakfast. That sounds really yummy. I might have to try that. I had for my breakfast today it was avocado and then some I love to put olive oil on top of my avocado
Okay.
and then just a little bit of sea salt and then I had this is going to sound really weird for all the viewers, but I had sardines. But I love sardines.
You
So,
do. I
I
wish I
do.
did.
I know it's not for everyone, but I was raised with them, so
Okay.
it was part of my palate growing up. But
Yeah.
usually I have eggs. I didn't have eggs this morning though.
Yeah. It's good to get that savory breakfast. It's the only problem with the breakfast that I have is that it's a little on the sweet side because of the
Mm,
berries.
hmm.
But at least with the chia seeds and the cottage cheese, it does make it a little more on the bitter side, I guess. And I had kefir
Hmm.
before I had all that.
Okay,
So
yeah, that's got some salt in it.
yeah,
Some
it's got
or
some
well,
salt and it's a little tart,
a
right?
little
So
tart. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
actually, kefir has tons of probiotics in them.
Yes, tons of
And
them.
also, if you're having if you're having the kefir, the yogurt, and the cottage cheese, it's a lot of probiotics. So it's really good that you're having the strawberries and the avocado because you're feeding those probiotics. Your
Right.
probiotics need something to feed on, similar to the
Right.
bread that we were just talking about. The wheat
Yeah.
needs something to feed on.
Yep.
And if you don't give it something to feed on, it'll get into your stomach and it'll just die because it doesn't
Right.
have anything to survive on. But the fibers from the chia seeds, from the avocado and from the strawberries
Berries.
are all perfect.
Yeah.
It will feed
Yeah.
your gut and and that's probably also why you're happy. You're
Yeah.
happy and ready for, or you
Ready
don't
for the
need to
day.
eat until 3.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because it's so filling. So it's
Hmm.
I just can't eat more. So yeah, I'm curious if about the I can how?
Icorn.
Icorn.
Hmm.
So I'm curious about that and like trying to make my own bread and like doing a video of it
Hmm.
because I buy from Bread Works right now. And
Hmm.
I do notice that if I eat too much of the bread, usually I only have one slice a day, if that.
Hmm.
I might have 3 slices in a week
Mm.
with lots of grass-fed butter.
Okay. I mean I will eat my aunt I made my aunt if she's watching hi um some icorn flour bread and she used to be completely gluten free but she can have it because there's so little gluten or any of those bad things in it so a lot of people that can't have gluten can actually have this kind of
Yeah.
bread and flour but we ate I'm pretty sure half a loaf together with some incredible olive oil. I love grass-fed butter on it too. But
Yeah.
yeah, we had a really fun time. So you don't have to you don't have to justify eating bread with lots of butter with me.
Right.
This is you're in good company.
Yeah, and I just love it, right? I mean, it's just so good. The
Yeah.
grass-fed butter, like I've licked the butter knife. I'm like, "Oh
Yeah.
my God, that butter is just so good."
Hmm. I
Wow.
will say I'm not somebody to tell I'm not somebody to say, "Oh, buy this product" or whatever. But if you have not had the grass-fed butter from Costco, it's in a green container. It's from New Zealand. It is the best butter I think I've ever
Really?
had.
I'll have to try it because I'm
It
going
is
to
so
actually be
good.
going to Traverse City on Thursday
Yeah.
for the
Go to
new job that I'm
Costco.
starting. So I'm
Oh,
gonna stop at Costco. Yeah, and
yes.
I'm gonna get well, there's a whole bunch of stuff. So I'll look for that butter. So it's in a green, is it in a tub or is it in a
So
wrapper?
it's in kind of a
Foil wrapper?
shiny yes, foil, but it's paper.
It is paper. Okay.
Yes.
And it's just a regular like a block
Yeah, but I mean
of
it's
cheese.
Costco, so you're getting four blocks.
Okay,
It's a
got it.
big you get
We
a
go
decent
through
side
it.
of butter. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too.
Well,
Once you try it though, it's like once we get down to that last little bit, I'm like, a trip to Traverse City is worth
yeah,
it. It's so
exactly.
yummy.
Because that's our nearest Costco. Yeah, if it's
Yeah,
paper goods, I have them ship it. Because I'll ship, but if it's all refrigerated, it's a little tougher
yeah,
for them to ship it. So
that's true.
yeah, so I'm excited. I'll be going there actually so I can, but we're going to fly out at the end of September as well.
Okay.
So we'll pick up more goods if we need to because we go through 4 sticks of butter in about 2 weeks. So
I eat so much butter. It's so funny. It's funny because with my degree, a lot of people get really confused as to how I eat.
yeah,
But when you understand real butter,
yeah.
um, it's
And real
so
eggs and
and
real
real
meat.
eggs, real food. It is so good for your body, and our brains need it. We see now
Yes.
like so many studies about how the low fat diets have just are associated with
Chronic disease,
chronic disease,
dementia.
Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
all kinds of things like that. And
Our
it's
body
because
needs the
our
fat.
they do, and our brains need that, and we're
Our
not giving
our
it to
brain is
them.
made of 80% fat,
And if we're
right?
starving our brains from fat, I mean, there's no wonder why
You
we
can't
have
function.
the problems that we do.
Yeah.
So I'm a big person. I'm a big true fats like coconut oil, avocado
Grass-fed
oil,
butter,
grass-fed
extra virgin
butter,
olive
and
oil.
olive oil.
Yeah, yeah.
I do not
And
have any
avocado.
avocado. Yes. I do not consume, to the best of my ability, seed oils. That is something that I'm very much. There's too much information out there on how it creates inflammation in the body,
Yeah,
and it's just not. It's something that's not worth it at this point.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about CAFOs?
Yes, I want to ask you about CAFOs. I want to hear everything that you have to say about it and everything that you know, because I think
Okay,
it's just fascinating.
so CAFOs are concentrated animal feeding operations. So these are, and you've taken a tour of it. And I've never taken a tour of one. I've seen it on TV where they've talked about it, and they show these big warehouses, and there's like chickens, 125,000 chickens just jammed in together. There is no space to move around. I mean, they all have to kind of move together in order to move. It's just crazy how packed in they are. And then they're trying to feed these chickens, right? There's just these little feeders of toxic food. Really, it's just to fatten them up. And and same thing with pigs, right? The pigs are sitting in their feces, the cows are sitting in their feces, the chickens are sitting in their feces. So how do you manage all the feces? How do you get the birds? I mean, these animals are coming so sick. And so they're wondering about, like, how do these kids that are like, I have a niece who went through this, where she was sprouting at 10 years old. I mean, she was getting buds. Her breasts were starting to form at 10 years old. Right. And then she started getting her cycle at 10 years old. So it was just all these hormones, and some people are more sensitive than others, but when I was younger, there was no organic, there was none of that stuff, because it all was naturally organic, right? There wasn't the genetically modified. I mean, it was starting to come through when we were kids, but not as prevalent as it is today. So the feed that they're giving the cows is not natural. It's not grass. The chickens are not getting, the worms and the bugs from the ground. They're getting some kind of soy, which is genetically modified. So you and I were talking about this pre-show, but 95% of corn, soy, and wheat is genetically modified. And what that means is that they can put all this glyphosate, which is weed killer, and insecticides all over it, or pesticides all over it. And so what that does is that goes into the chickens, that goes into the cows, it goes into the pigs, and then we consume it and it goes into us. And this is why so many children are getting pre-diabetes and so many diseases, because the cows are allowed to get growth hormone as well as antibiotics. Now, the antibiotics used to be free will as much as they wanted, but now we're getting too many resistant strains of E. coli and all these bacterias that we can't even, like, our antibiotics aren't even working for us because we are consuming these animals that have had all these antibiotics. So now it has to be prescribed by a doctor. But you get a good relationship with the doctor. The doctor's going to give you all that you need, right? So they're trying to regulate it. The FDA is trying to regulate it, but it's only down 37%. So we still got 3% that is still going. So they're trying to make an effort, but we got a long way to go.
Yeah.
So these animals are that's why we try to buy pasture raised. So we go to, the organic farms, we go to the farmers markets. We just found a farm that, the card is downstairs, but we just found a local farm and they'll give us a quarter of a cow if we want, or a half a cow, or, and they have all pasture raised and you can see the cows out in the fields, and they have tallow and they have, this lip balm. Did I have it here? It's just like tallow and lemon, and it's just like 3 ingredients. It's no, I think it's 4. It's got shea butter. Like I get this
cacao butter, maybe.
I get shea butter,
Oh,
and then I mix this with it, jojoba oil, and so I think that's also what was in the lip stuff. So it was shea, jojoba, lemon, and tallow. It was like
perfect.
Oh my God, it's so luxurious. And they got candles, right? And it's got natural essential oils in it. And, it was just this little shop.
Yeah.
And they had eggs and they had all kinds of stuff, but it was just this cute little, maybe you already know of it, but,
I don't think so. What's the name of it?
I'll get it to you.
Okay. That's okay.
It's downstairs on a card. Like if my husband was here, he'd remember it. But it's this cute little family that just has this farm, and they have this it's a little hut. It's not even as big as the room I'm in right now.
Yeah.
It's tiny, but they got a little fan blowing in there to keep it cool, and they just have a bunch of little stuff all over the place, and you just got to look, and it's just really cool. So, and then it's all, you pay via Venmo or you pay via cash.
Wonderful.
So yeah.
I love that. I love that we're seeing, at least in my generation, this like pull back to our roots and kind of away from the industry. I mean, the things that like, about the CAFOs and all of that kind of stuff. And there's like so much that you even spoke on that it's just like, we could talk about for forever. I mean, just, it's so sad to see how like our society and our like pull towards consumerism and all of that kind of stuff has done that. And like in the product is through our animals and like what we see with our animals and how we're treating animals. It is not the way that humanity or humans were meant to live at all. And it's really nice seeing more. I mean, at least like where we live, there's a lot of farms around here, and there's a lot. And I feel like people are starting to go back to that and like back to their local communities, buying local. It's so important to buy local if you can, and finding ways to learn more about what you're putting into your body, being more mindful even in that. I think it's just so critical.
Yeah, because I think, like I was talking to my chiropractor's, the woman at the front desk, right? And I was telling her, and she's got kids and all this stuff. And I was telling her about, she's got all these allergies and how I can help her with the allergies. And she needs to try to buy organic. She goes, do you realize how much I make? You think I could buy organic? I mean, and so to hear this, I mean, I know that there are people who have this real struggle, right? I mean, I know when I was in my 20s and I was only making $30,000 a year, right? There's no way I could afford it. I mean, I was barely being able to afford my housing and my car. So,
right.
But, I mean, so, when you like I can afford to take a job that's only going to pay me $40,000 a year because I already have retirement. This is just spending money for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas from some people, this is like a real need, and they really need to have money to pay for their kids to go to school and to feed them and clothe them and
Mm-hmm.
whatever, goes on, and birthdays and Christmas and, so on and so forth. So yeah, buying organic. And what I try to advise people is do it when you can, right? Buy the organic ground beef. We get it from Aldi. We get organic ground beef. We get it from Walmart, the bison. It's all grass-fed, pasture-raised bison. Same thing with the eggs. We buy pasture-raised eggs, and we usually buy them at Walmart because Aldi doesn't always have it.
Mm-hmm.
We buy our grass-fed butter from Aldi. It's made by the green label that you can buy anywhere, really, the Irish butter.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the pasture raised, and it's certified. I'm sorry, wild caught salmon, and it's certified. That
Yeah.
it's wild caught. So,
And I think too, there's a lot more options even like at Walmart. There's a ton of organic options at
there
Walmart.
are,
And I
yeah,
think you're
and at
right
Aldi,
on to say it's not like you don't have to change. I think that's something that I hear a lot too, is it's like, okay, well, you do all these things. It's like, well, it's just baby steps. Like it's just one thing that you can swap now.
right?
And then and that kind of goes back to habit stacking and all of that. It's like, okay, once you get comfortable with that, then you find another thing that you can change, or like another baby step. Not that noise. I do think it's on my end.
I don't
But
know. Yeah, I think it might be on your end because I don't get this ever until I talk to you. So.
yeah, well, I think I had said in the last one where so off topic, but just that I watch your podcast and it only happens when it's with me.
Yeah.
So it's just our little friend that just decides to
Just
speak
comes
up.
to visit.
Yeah, whatever.
So on the CAFOs, to go back to that, is just, just pick your battles, right? If you can afford to buy organic, pasture raised eggs and meats and organic fruits and vegetables and dairy, buy it when you can,
Mm-hmm.
and we get organic berries from Aldi. We try to buy it in season when we're going to the Harbor Market. Harbor Springs Farmers Market,
Mm-hmm.
and we buy it in bulk. So we buy tray loads of it, and we'll go to Bear
Yes.
Creek Organic and buy tray loads of it, and then we freeze it. So I put it in
Yes.
Cleanomic bags, which are these biodegradable bags.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll ziplock them. And we bought some aftermarket, little freezers. And then we bought one that's a full size refrigerator freezer. We have in a barn that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And so we put all these pasture raised turkey and berries, and we put it all in there. And then we bought all these tomatoes, and so then we boiled all the potatoes and blanched them and then put them in an ice bath, and then we pureed them and froze it, right? So that we can actually make, when winter comes, we can make a chili with it, we can make sauce with it, we can make all kinds of tomato soup with it. I just love tomato soup with a grilled cheese sandwich.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's such a comfort. And I think you make a really great point, because buying in bulk, and I know that it comes down to time and different things like that and what people have at their disposal, but to buy in bulk or to have in bulk or to take from your harvest in bulk, whatever it might be, there are things that I will can, and we have them all throughout the winter. So, I mean, there's if you can set a time and even making it social. I have a lot of friends where it'll be like, hey, do we want to do a whatever date? And we all do it, and then we all share the product of it all. And there
That's
you can
cool.
make salsa. I mean, just depends on what is in your area. For you and I, we have a lot of cherries, a lot of apples. The amount of applesauce that I have, and I love it, and I eat it all throughout the winter. But we get so many apples up here. My family has a couple of apple trees, and you just get tons of apples, and then you make tons of applesauce, and all you have to do is apples, apple cider vinegar, and a little bit of cinnamon, and that's it. We don't put any sugars in it
because you don't need it. The apple's sweet enough.
No, and you don't need any kind of preservatives or
what
anything.
kind of apples
do
you use?
Pectin. I don't know what they are. They've been on our family.
The red?
I don't know. They're just our family's apples.
But are they red apples or green apples?
Yes, they are red.
They're red apple. Okay.
Yeah.
So
they're red and green, but I think they're supposed to be red.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're probably
it's a very old tree.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's all organic.
Yeah, but the thing I think is just like getting creative and also going back to the kitchen and going back to the basics of things.
And you could make
Like
apple
even with
pie,
apple
right? You
pie, I
get your
mean, you can
acorn, I get,
apple crumble
oh my God, yeah.
with real grass-fed butter, some acorn flour. That would be very
That sounds
yummy.
amazing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
because
there's just I think like the creativity in it is so fun for me.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
don't
I
know.
agree. Which I find fun too. Like I love being able to experiment. So I'm and one part I'm sad that I don't have to, but that I'm going back to work because, I love having the freedom to be able to make stuff in the kitchen all the
Yeah.
time. And so now I'm gonna have to just do it on weekends. That's all.
Okay, but I don't know about you, but I am more productive when I'm working or when I'm in school or whatever it is. If I have something other than my passions,
Yeah.
I am more productive with my passions because I get so excited for it and I prioritize it. I don't
Yes.
know if you're the same way, but when I have, like in the
It's true. The
summertime, when I have
busier
a little
you
bit
are, the
extra
more
time,
productive you are.
yes, and when I have extra time, I just find myself like, oh, well, I can always make that tomorrow or I can always do that tomorrow. But
True.
when I have deadlines and it's like, okay, every single day
I
I
have
have
to do this
something,
now.
yeah, then you prioritize it and you say, okay, I'm gonna after my morning walk, I'm gonna go do or I'm gonna go do X to make sure that I
Yeah.
have bread for. I don't know. You just find yourself more productive,
Yeah.
and
And you
in a
make it work
way,
for when you can do it, right? Like
yeah,
I could totally see like doing the beans. We're gonna make chili this weekend, so I start the beans on maybe Wednesday. And when
and
I get
it's
home from work, I start them on Wednesday, and by the
yeah,
weekend they're ready.
truly, Kim, it is every 12 hours. You just have to do a little thing. So it's in the morning while your tea's brewing, whatever, you're doing
Yeah.
the thing, and then right before you go to bed, I mean, you could be brushing your teeth and doing it. Honestly,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not to me. It's like it's such a small thing that you can do.
Yeah.
It seems really complicated, and I know I'm overcomplicating it. I'm a visual learner, so when I see a video of it, it makes it a lot more obtainable than
Yeah,
hearing about it.
exactly.
But it's very simple, and
Okay,
it's
cool.
just a
And you're gonna
simple
share
thing
your
that you can
videos?
do. Hmm?
You're gonna share your videos?
Oh yeah, I'll make them. Next time I do it, I'll just take a
Okay,
video and
cool.
send it to you.
Yeah.
That's what I do with my clients or my friends.
Yeah.
Is if they're asking, I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna make a video and I'll just send you a
You gotta put that on
long-winded
your
video.
social.
Huh?
You gotta put that on your social.
I should. I should. I've been
Yeah.
doing a little bit more of that with my I do. I need to.
Yeah, because people more than just your friends are interested in that, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
anybody
true.
listening to the podcast, I wanna know,
Yeah. Well, they
right?
could be my friend too or
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, we got 3 people watching, so,
Oh, that's exciting.
yeah. So, but anywho, okay, so the CAFOs. Now what else we wanna talk about?
Okay, we were also going to talk about microbiome.
Yeah, so the gut
Yeah,
microbiome.
gut microbiome, which I think we've spoken on this before in the past
A
with the
little
brain
bit.
gut axis. Um, to me, like it kind of comes down to an ecosystem. I always think of it as an ecosystem. We look in our water, we look in nature, we look anywhere, and you have an ecosystem. There's bugs, there's these different like little critters, but those bad bugs, if you want to call them bad, somehow make sense in the ecosystem. But you need good and you need bad, and it all works together. And the same thing is within our gut because we have good microbiomes and bad microbiomes. The bad ones are there, they aren't really going anywhere. But if they kind of overtake the good microbiome, then you'll start to see a lot of issues within the body. And it depends on how you feed your system, is what will rise up the good or the bad.
Yeah.
And it's what you feed it. So if you feed it in overprocessed foods and processed sugars, seed oils, and a very non-diverse foods of fruits and
Like if they're
vegetables,
canned and they're all in prepackaged, highly
prepackaged. I
processed
mean, I know
foods.
I've met people that will say that they don't eat vegetables or fruit or anything like
Oh,
that, and it's
yeah.
like, okay, I mean, that just means that your gut, there's a side of your gut right now, the bad bacteria that's just taking over.
Yeah, and
And
this
it
causes
depends,
a
and your
leaky
palate
gut.
will change.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
totally.
It'll change, but when you don't feed it the good microbes that it needs, and the pre, post, and probiotics, when you don't have that, your body is just going to crave the sodas and the chips and all that kind of stuff, pizzas and all of it. But when you feed it something very nutritious and it's a diverse ecosystem in there, you're going to want to try all the different kinds of fruits and vegetables, and you're going to want to try all the different things because the microbes inside of you are telling you what you want. It kind of tells your palate what you want. But more so, we see effects all over the body with mental health, with physical health, with inflammation,
Yeah.
depending on how.
People get like bloated and they get pain in their
Yes.
stomach or their intestines.
Mm-hmm.
They look, they look
It's
bloated, they
worn
look
down.
inflamed. Yeah, run down, tired all the time.
Low
Um,
energy, lethargic. All of these things can be a sign of a gut dysbiosis.
yes. Yeah.
And
And that comes from eating the processed foods and not eating the vegetables or the fiber that
mm-hmm.
you need. I mean, people think when I say eat oatmeal, they think like, oh, I bought the quick oats and
Mm-hmm.
I got the maple syrup and sugar or whatever, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. You got to get like
Talking
an
about like
organic
a
oats,
whole
and
oats,
whole oats.
no
Yeah.
glyphosate. Yeah.
Yeah, not the glyphosate stuff, right? Or steel cut
Yes.
oats, I mean, you could buy the steel cut oats and soak them
Mm-hmm.
overnight with some chia seeds and that's delicious.
It is. And our bodies need that to thrive. Again, there's this thing that I had heard when I was a lot younger, but it was more towards the spirit or the soul. But it said that there's two wolves inside of us, the dark and the light, and they're at constant war with each other. Which one wins? The one you feed. So if you feed the light, that one will overcome the other one. It's supposed
Yeah.
to be more of a spiritual thing, but it's really true with what happens in our gut on a physical sense and what we consume. So if we're
Yeah.
constantly consuming those bad things, it will manifest physically, and we will see it and we will feel it.
Yeah.
And it's
It's so
not even,
true.
I mean, and it's all connected. I just did a post on this with metabolism, because I hear a lot of people kind of like try to hack the metabolism, and there's all these different things and diet culture and everything. But when it comes down to it, our metabolism, it just needs to be nurtured. It just
Yeah.
needs to have real foods in it, and it needs to be we need, not only is it what we eat, but it's also what we believe about ourselves. It's what we speak
Yes.
into
The
existence.
positive
It's
talk.
the
Yes.
friendships, it's the relationships that are in our lives. Are
Yeah. That
these
community that you nurture.
Yes, are we surrounding ourselves with like-minded people that challenge us in a healthy way and help us grow as people, or are we surrounding ourselves with people who are um, only bringing us down and only causing havoc in our mental state? I mean, there's so much about the whole person and the whole body, and oftentimes, like as a nutritionist, it's always okay. Well, let's just talk about the food, but it's not, it's more than just the food. It's 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 the mindset, and it's a lot more than just that. It's the community that you hold. It's the intentionality of what you bring into your space.
Yeah. Yeah. So and I think I hear about this all the time with where you've got to have the community, you've got to have the right foods, you got to have the right environment, right? I mean, when I talk to my clients about tell me about like what you do for a living, right?
Hmm.
What is your daily life like?
Yeah.
Do you see friends? Do you have somebody at your house that you actually enjoy being with, or is
Hmm.
it an abusive relationship, or do you have a lot of stress in your life? Right? Because all those things matter for
Hmm.
what's happening in life. I mean, I've always had this saying, carry my own sunshine,
Yeah, I
right?
like that.
Because we have to create our own sunshine.
Yeah.
Especially during the wintertime, right? When it's so gray and
Yes.
dark. Like there are people who get this seasonal depression. And I'm like,
Hmm.
snap out of it. You got to
Yeah.
carry your own sunshine. You got to be grateful for everything that you have in life. You've got to
Hmm.
be thankful for a roof over your head, for the gifts that God has given you.
Hmm.
I mean, there's all these things that we can talk about being positive and overcoming the stress. But certainly I know that there's a lot of people that stress about everything.
Hmm.
And so just I used to stress about everything. I used to be one of those
Yeah.
people. And And then one day I just suddenly like take a deep breath. It
And
everything
let it
everything will
go.
change eventually. Let it go. Just roll with it, right? It is what it is, and over time it all passes. So don't let it get to you. Like I used to be in sales, and sales was very stressful for me. Like I remember my mom like, God, you're crabby. I'm like, I'm stressed.
Yeah. Well, I feel like those kinds of challenges in life is what, like, we need those to almost help us get to the other side. I feel like living in northern Michigan has been something for me because it's so easy to get kind of taken into a dark place in the dark winter months.
Yeah,
But then, as you said, finding the positives about things. I do think that there's definitely something about the sunshine and not getting enough sun on our skin
I
that
agree. Do you
play
guys go
into
to
that.
Florida in the winter?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad does, which I think is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I try to visit him when I can. And when I'm out there, I try to get as much sun as I can. Sun is so
Yes.
important for you.
It really is.
Hmm.
Well, especially with the Impact 100, right? I mean, you guys are
Hmm.
constantly once a month or something going on.
Yes, yeah. And I think that too, I mean, that to me is such a beautiful way of community, right?
Yes.
It's community and it's also giving back to your local community. So you're kind of you're doing something of purpose and it's meaningful. And I
Yeah.
think that that is super, super important for people to be able to do that. And I'm really grateful to be able to do that.
I agree. I thought it was so amazing. So, the Villa store,
Oh,
Bloom,
Violet Bloom.
Violet Bloom.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't realize that they actually had vegan leather that wasn't made of plastic and that wasn't, I mean, she told me all about this and I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that is so cool, right? It was
Isn't it so great?
well worth the money that I spent on it. And it's my favorite purse now. I just, it fits everything that I need
Hmm.
on a day-to-day basis. It's not my makeup bag, but it's
Yeah.
it holds, it holds my phone, it holds a lip color, a
Hmm.
lipstick, it holds a couple of things and my cash and cards and I'm set.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, and I love that too, because I mean, that's one thing that I've really been enjoying about Impact is just connecting different women with different businesses and
Yeah.
different places. Um, and I think that that's so important. And
I
I think
agree.
that's what's so beautiful about women is that we're connectors. I think that's just kind of born
The way we
into
are.
us.
Yeah.
And so it's just a beautiful, like, collaboration is such a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and we should
Yeah.
support each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's so many activities up here to do. Like there's women's golf and there's almost 5
Yeah.
days a week that you can be on a golf club,
Yeah.
and,
And in the
and
wintertime, there's tons of skiing and there's lots of
cross
social
country
groups of
skiing and
skiing. And we
yeah.
were talking about microbiome, but like with the ecosystem, it's important.
Yeah.
Like this is important for our mental health. It's important for it all. And the
Yes.
gut and the brain are completely connected. So it's so important to get out, be social, and find ways to connect to your community in a meaningful
Yeah.
way, and
Yeah.
find that like influence that you can have, and that find your place within your bigger community.
Yes.
It's so important.
I
And
agree.
I love that on your podcast, like we talk more about your environment. I mean, we talk about more things than just food, because I think that we can get so caught up on food and about like, okay, I have to buy this really expensive whatever. And you make great points. It's like you don't have to like buy the really expensive. A lot of times when you buy in bulk or are able to make connections with your local farmers and your local markets, you're able to find better prices. But you can
Yeah.
also find good supplements and things like that at Walmart and at Aldi's. Like there's places that offer that. You just have to have that curiosity to look for it. But it's more than just that. It's about whole person well-being, your spirit, your
Yes.
soul, your mind, your physical. It's all connected, and we can't just focus on like the look of things. I think sometimes in the bodybuilder space, it's like eat a very specific diet and look a very specific way, and then that means
Yeah.
that you're healthy, and not necessarily. A lot of times it like you can look a certain way and inside you could be really, really not doing great.
Not so healthy. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's and
because
it's
I was
better to be good on the inside.
Yeah, I was a competitive bodybuilder in college, and
Okay.
that was basically you're eating the carnivore diet, right? You're just eating proteins because you want to get as lean as possible, right? And you're drinking a lot of caffeine because you just want to
Mm.
dehydrate yourself.
Mhm.
Because we're and not that you're not drinking water with electrolytes, but you want to make sure that you're leaned out as much as possible, and
Yeah.
it works. It works to do that, but overall it's not healthy for your system for the
No.
long term, right? It's good for short term, but it's not good for long term.
Hmm. And I think that's again like a big push that I'm seeing in society right now is we for so long have gone for appearance, and I think that we've realized like how unsustainable that is.
Yeah.
And going for the appearance, it's if it's not the root, like if we don't get to the root of something, then it's kind of all frivolous. So I'm finding
Yeah.
now more and more, or at least where I'm like with Substack and with the different communities that I'm growing, a lot of it is centered on let's get to the root of this. Let's let's make some boundaries. Let's whatever that might
And that's
mean.
what function medicine is all about, is trying to
Yes.
find the root cause of not just slapping a drug on it, but actually
Hmm.
what is the root cause of your problem, right? So if you have arthritis, let's dig into why might you have arthritis, or if
Hmm.
you have diabetes, let's dig in. Why do you have type 2 diabetes
Yeah.
or type 1.5, right?
There's
Um,
always a root cause. Nothing's ever random, and I think that
yes.
is like really important for like clients or whoever to hear. Like whatever's happening in your body, it's not random. And finding somebody, you, me, whoever it is, if they have somebody that can help them look at it and find the root to it and help them walk through that is so
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
it's not random. And
It is
also,
not.
your body is not coming against you, like it's not attacking you on purpose. It's just trying to protect you.
Yeah.
And I think understanding I mean, like in my story, I had horrible inflammation. It felt like my body just decided that it hated me, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt attacked every day because of the inflammation and because of the IBS. But
So glad you figured
once
that
I
out.
understood my body, I realized, and especially now looking back on it, I'm like, my body, all it was doing was it was trying to protect me. Those were mechanisms that are important inside of us that was just trying to protect me from what was happening.
Yeah.
And knowing that our body isn't coming against us, it's just trying to protect us. And
Yes.
it's trying to communicate to us. And my body was communicating, hey, something is wrong. It needs to
Yeah.
change because going down this route is not going to be good in the long run. And thankfully, because I listened to those signs and I didn't like hush the signs and put more medication
Yes.
on it just to quiet those signs down, I listened to those signs and I found healing, true healing at the root. I'm able to not have any issues with IBS.
Right.
And I think that that is what like we have such an issue with now is that we have one issue and then we cover it up with a new medicine and then we get
Right.
a different issue so we cover that up with a different medicine and we
Right.
constantly
Exactly.
adding instead of just
Another
getting down to
medication.
the
And they all have side effects.
they all have side effects. It's
Yeah.
so bad.
If we give our body what it needs, our bodies are miracle workers. It will heal itself. We
Hmm.
just need to give it what it needs to be able to
Hmm.
heal itself. It will do
There,
that.
it's conductors. It takes the metabolism takes from the environment and then creates an energy. So if your
Yes.
environment is and what you're giving your body is bad, it will produce out a bad product.
Yeah.
But if you're giving to your body something that's full of nutrients, full of love, full of gratitude, good foods, even praying over a meal, I think there's so much to that.
Yeah.
Like if you're unable to, maybe you can only have one meal out of the week that is fully grass fed or whatever it might be, but praying over the meals that aren't, I believe that there's something about the energetic prayer itself. There's studies that they do with water where if you speak ill words to water, it changes the molecular um,
I've heard of this molecular
and you
structure of
see
the
it under a
water.
microscope. You'll see
Yeah.
if you say to water like you are thank you, and you give it
Your
gratitude.
beautiful life giving,
You're beautiful, life giving. You see it, and it's this beautiful crystals that form. And then you say something hatred, like mean and disgusting towards.
you're disgusting tasting and you're
Yeah,
terrible.
you
Ugh.
look at it, and it's this like distorted um, compound. And so we
Yeah.
drink that. So I think there's something beautiful about praying over your meal and just giving it gratitude and thanking and being mindful as you're eating. That's
Yeah.
another thing, is that this is a whole rabbit hole in itself, but the processed foods, they do not fill you, A, but B, the they don't communicate to your brain that it's food, and your
Right.
brain doesn't realize it's full. So you
Right.
can sit there and eat a
And
whole
keep eating.
container of chips, and then you're still not satisfied, and it's
Right.
because your brain doesn't connect that it's
And
had anything in its.
donuts and prepackaged foods,
And it's
they
why
just
people
don't fill you.
overeat. I
Yeah.
think, like, the other thing is that when you start eating more whole foods, I eat a lot, but I also don't eat like I'm satisfied,
Yeah.
right? And I
Yeah, like
remember when I
I'm
used to
so
eat.
full from my breakfast that I ate 2.5 hours ago, and
Mhm.
I won't eat again until, like I said, 2 or 3 o'clock, right? If you
Right.
give it what it needs with whole, nutritious food, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. But then when I used to eat really bad, I was always hungry. I couldn't shut it off. I was always
Yeah.
thinking about food.
I was during COVID, man. I was eating cookies like you couldn't believe. They were fresh out of the oven, but they were, oh my God, they were just so delicious, and I just kept eating them and eating them and eating them. It's not real food, right? I mean, it's not
Was
real
that
food.
was that when your health kind of went down, when it's
Yes.
2020? Okay.
Yeah. And pizza, I mean, just
Okay.
the normal stuff that all this processed food that you don't,
Right.
and spaghetti and sauce and, whatever ragu and
Ugh.
not well, I don't even know how Rouse is. I think Rouse already has stopped using extra virgin olive oil, but
Mm.
Rouse got bought out. These big companies, they buy out these
And
food.
they changed the product.
Yeah, they change the products. Like, dummy, this is why they got so popular in the first place, is because they were giving us good food, and then you go and screw it all up and nobody wants to buy it anymore.
I know. But you know what? It's fine, because I guess in the grand scheme, it gives someone else the opportunity to make a new company.
Yes,
And that
exactly.
happens all the time. You'll get a new company that you love, and then you'll look at it and it's, wait a minute, which actually, this can be really, I mean, I'm surprised that there aren't more issues with this, because some people are allergic, like truly allergic to some of those products. And if you don't let them know that the ingredients have changed, that could cause, I mean, that to me,
That's why
I don't
you
know.
always have to look at the label. You
You always
always have to look at
do.
the label,
Mm-hmm.
because companies get bought out all the time. I mean, I had
Yeah.
done a post, I don't know, not that long ago, about all the different companies that have gotten bought out, and some of them I didn't even know. I was like, "What?"
Yeah. That's
You know
something that I teach with my clients, is like, we always learn, like, one of our first things is, let's read a nutrition label.
Yeah,
I think it's so important. I
it
mean,
really
to me,
is.
education is such an important part um, of my what I do, but it's so important, because once you can read that and you understand what it actually means, so much power comes back to the
It
individual.
really does.
Hmm.
Yeah, because you really gotta understand it, and if you just buy stuff without labels, you know, obviously there's still some stuff you're gonna buy with labels, like
Yeah.
buying the Icorn wheat, right? But if you can
Yeah.
look at the label and see what's in it, and realize it's not.
Well, it's just the berry,
Yeah.
or the wheat
So,
berry.
yeah. Is it the wheat berry and then you grind it?
I do, but you can at the place that I buy mine, you can or they will grind it for you. But I have my own grinder,
Okay.
and when I did my whole research into it, if you can grind it yourself, you get the most nutrients from the berry, the
And
wheat
it's probably
berry.
the freshest at that point,
It
yeah.
is, yeah. And again, like
What
the
kind of grinder do
starters,
you use?
um, I got it a couple years ago on Amazon. I
Is
would
it
have
like a
to. I'm gonna
coffee
have to.
grinder?
No, 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 no.
Not like that.
It's a specific, yeah, it's specific for wheat. And
Okay.
for oats, I grind up my oats and I love
Oat
making
flour,
oat pancakes with just oats. It's like a cup of oats,
egg.
2 eggs, and 1 banana. There's a
Oh,
recipe for
cool.
everyone. So you're getting protein, you're getting carbohydrates, and you're getting fats.
Yeah.
And it's a great breakfast. I love that breakfast. It's like my favorite thing in the fall. And I
What
put
is the
berries
fat
on it, or
from the eggs?
yogurt. Hmm?
From the eggs, that's the fat and the protein?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you're getting the prebiotics and or the prebiotics, but then I put yogurt on top of it, so I'm getting
More
probiotics as
yogurt.
well. But I
Yeah.
do that at the end as kind of like a little topper.
Yeah.
And the banana
Instead of
makes it
syrup.
sweet.
Yeah, I bet
So,
it does. Yeah. And
yeah.
I'm sure it tastes delicious with a banana in there. So is the
Yeah.
banana blended or just sliced up
Nope.
or mushed?
I grind the oats into a bowl, and then I put my eggs in, 2 eggs, and then I put my banana, and I just mash it all together.
Mash it. Okay.
And it makes about 4 like small pancakes
Okay.
from that. And I'm a big eater, so that will be my
So 4
breakfast with a
pancakes, good
dollop of
individual.
yogurt
And
and
okay,
berries.
so how much oat? A cup?
A cup.
Okay.
1 cup
So
oats,
for
2
2 of us
eggs.
or 5 of us, we're going to need a cup per person.
Yeah. It depends on if you're a big eater. I am a big eater. I'll eat the whole thing myself.
I'm sure I could eat 4 if they're,
Yeah.
like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the
It's
yogurt,
really
I'd probably
yummy.
throw some berries on it too.
I did. Yeah. I do
Oh, you did?
yogurt on
Okay.
top and then berries.
Yeah, cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so fun. I love just having the open dialogue with
I do
you,
too.
and there's so much more we could talk about, isn't there?
Yeah. It feels so creative.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I've really enjoyed this time with you, and thank you so much. And I hope you'll come back again.
I will. Yeah. Thank you, Kim. This is
Yeah.
wonderful.
So this is the Larson Health Podcast, where you can learn so much more about eating healthy. Go to larsonhealthweightloss.com and you can learn more. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Okay.